She survived one of the most brutal relationships Hollywood has ever seen. She sat on a witness stand, pregnant, and told the whole world what happened to her. She helped put a music mogul behind bars, and then she disappeared. Not to hide, not to run, but because after everything she went through, she made a choice. She didn't want to be American anymore. It started with a court filing, quiet, routine-looking, just another legal document buried inside a lawsuit that most people weren't paying attention to. But buried inside those pages was a single line that stopped everyone cold. Those were the words of Cassandra Ventura, better known to the world as Cassie, filed in a court declaration dated May 1, 2026, and obtained by Complex and E! News. She is 39 years old. She is a U.S. citizen. She is a mother of 3. And she is left. No press release, no farewell tour, no Instagram announcement. She just went. The document didn't say where she'd gone. TMZ reported it's still unclear exactly which country she's now calling home. What it did say was that she considers New York, not California, as the most convenient place for future legal matters because that's where her attorneys are based. She still has legal business to handle. She just won't be handling it from American soil. Who is Cassie? The full backstory. Visual, archival photos and clips of Cassie's music career, her Me and You era. To understand why this moment matters, you need to understand who Cassie is and what she survived. Born Cassandra Elizabeth Ventura in New London, Connecticut, she burst onto the music scene in 2006 with Me and You, a sleek R&B track that shot to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. She was young, beautiful, effortlessly cool, and she had just signed with Bad Boy Records. That was where she met Sean Combs. Their relationship, described by Cassie herself as on and off for over a decade, began around 2007. To the outside world, they were a power couple. Behind closed doors, according to Cassie's own testimony delivered under oath in a Manhattan federal courtroom, it was something else entirely. She described a relationship built on control, on fear, on a man whose eyes, she testified, would sometimes go black, where, in her words, the version of him I was in love with was no longer there. She said she was physically beaten, photographed with black eyes, a fat lip, a gash on her forehead. She testified she was coerced into participating in what Diddy called freak-offs, drug-fueled sexual encounters with male escorts arranged by Combs, starting as early as 2008 when she was just 22 years old. I just felt pretty horrible about myself, she told jurors, her voice soft, her composure barely holding. I felt disgusting. I felt humiliated. She also testified that Combs raped her in 2018 after she tried to end the relationship for good. She stayed silent for years, and then, in November 2023, she didn't. The lawsuit that changed everything. On November 16, 2023, Cassie Ventura filed a federal civil lawsuit against Sean Combs. It accused him of rape, physical abuse, sex trafficking, and over a decade of emotional and psychological control. The lawsuit was settled within 24 hours. That speed alone told a story. Combs' attorneys released a statement saying the settlement was not an admission of wrongdoing, but the damage was done. Not just to Diddy's reputation, but to the entire wall of silence that had protected the music industry's most powerful figures. Because within months of Cassie's lawsuit, other accusers came forward, then more, and then federal investigators moved in. And then, on September 16, 2024, Sean Combs was arrested. How much did Cassie receive? For months, no one knew the exact number. Then, during Diddy's criminal trial in May 2025, Cassie took the stand and, under direct examination from prosecutors, answered the question plainly. Sean and his companies. $20 million. And it later emerged she had sought $30 million initially. That number confirmed during cross-examination, when prosecutors clarified that while she'd requested 30, the final amount settled was 20. But there was more. During her testimony, Cassie also revealed she'd secured another settlement, approximately $10 million, from the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. That was over the 2016 surveillance footage showing Combs assaulting her in a hotel hallway, footage that CNN had already released to the public a year earlier. footage that made the whole world watch a man drag a woman across hotel carpet like she was nothing. Cassie Ventura walked away with, in total, approximately $30 million. And then she got on a plane. The trial, 4 days on the stand. Before she left, she faced one more ordeal. The federal criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs began on May 12, 2025, and Cassie Ventura was the star witness. She was pregnant when she walked into that courtroom, visibly, undeniably pregnant, wearing a modest, long-sleeved brown dress, soft-spoken, composed, and she spent 4 days on that stand. Prosecutors spent hours walking her through everything: the freak-offs, the violence, the coercion, the drugs. The jury saw photographs entered into evidence: her bruised face, her swollen lip, her injured body. They saw still images from videos of the freak-offs, and she sat through it all. Perhaps the most devastating moment came near the end of her cross-examination. Defense attorneys pushed back, questioned her motives, questioned her choices, and Cassie, through tears, said something that cut through every legal argument in that room. "I'd give that money back if I never had to have freak-offs. If I never had to have freak-offs, I would have had agency and autonomy, and I wouldn't have had to work so hard to get it back." The jury deliberated. On July 2, 2025, they returned a verdict. Diddy was found not guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking, the most serious charges, but he was convicted on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. He was sentenced to 50 months in prison. He is currently serving his sentence at FCI Fort Dix with a scheduled release in February 2028. 2 weeks after completing her testimony, on May 28, 2025, Cassie gave birth to her 3rd child, a son, with her husband, Alex Fine. The twist: now she's being sued. Here's where the story takes a turn that most people haven't fully tracked yet. Because while Cassie came into the Diddy saga as a victim, and she was a victim, as confirmed by her own testimony, she now faces allegations of her own. His name is Clayton Howard. He's a former male escort. He appeared in the Netflix documentary Sean Combs: The Reckoning and recounted being flown in for days-long sex parties. In July 2025, Howard filed a civil lawsuit in the Central District of California, naming Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura as defendants. His allegations are serious and, it should be said, unproven, but they are specific. He claims that the freak-offs began in 2009 and lasted for over 5 years. He says he was drugged, manipulated, and coerced. He claims Cassie gave him a sexually transmitted disease and then continued engaging with him without disclosing it. And he alleges that Cassie became pregnant with his child and terminated that pregnancy without informing him. Howard isn't framing this as a story of villains and heroes. He told interviewers, "I'm not looking to destroy Cassie," but he said he gave her a year to settle before proceeding to court. She didn't. There's a message allegedly sent by Howard to Cassie's husband, Alex Fine, in 2023, right after Cassie filed her original Diddy suit, that has been included in court documents. In it, Howard apparently praised Cassie for her bravery in coming forward, writing that what she'd endured was 100% valid and that he was glad she got something, probably not near what she deserved. That message matters. It suggests that Howard's position isn't revenge. It's that the truth, in his view, is more complicated than the version that became public. It also tells us something important about this entire saga. Trauma and wrongdoing don't always fall neatly on one side. So why did Cassie leave America? Legally, her filing states it's about convenience. Her attorneys are in New York. The Howard lawsuit is in California. If it proceeds, it'd be easier for her to travel to New York than Los Angeles. That's the practical answer. But let's be honest, the practical answer rarely explains why someone gives up residency in their home country. Here's what we know. Cassie Ventura spent the better part of 3 years fighting one of the most powerful men in the music industry. She filed a lawsuit, she endured a public smear campaign, she watched her most painful, most intimate moments become global news. She sat on a witness stand, pregnant, and described in graphic detail the things that were done to her, while her abuser sat feet away, watching. And then, even after all of that, she found herself on the other end of a lawsuit. There is no quiet life available to Cassie Ventura in America right now.
there may not be for years. So she left. She packed up her family, her husband, Alex, her 3 young children, daughters Frankie and Sunny, and their new son, and she went somewhere else, somewhere the cameras don't follow, somewhere the legal filings don't make the front page. No one knows exactly where, and maybe that's the point. Cassie Ventura's story isn't over. The Howard lawsuit is still active. A new case involving Combs is reportedly under review by the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. And somewhere in a country she hasn't named, in a house nobody's photographed, a 39-year-old woman is raising her 3 kids and trying, finally, to live a life that belongs to her. Her attorney said it best after the Diddy verdict. While nothing can undo the trauma caused by Combs, they didn't finish the sentence publicly, but Cassie did in her own way.